Is the era of Western economic dominance finally coming to an end? For decades, the global economic order seemed set in stone. But as we look towards 2026, the tectonic plates of financial power are shifting faster than ever before. New players are rising, old giants are facing unprecedented challenges, and the very definition of economic strength is being rewritten. This isn't just abstract theory for a textbook. The future of the global economy will directly impact your life, from the cost of your tuition and the availability of graduate jobs to the price of your rent and even your ability to get a work visa abroad. So, who will be the top economies shaping our world in 2026? Forget the guesswork and AI hallucinations. We're diving deep into the latest projections from the world's most trusted financial institutions, the International Monetary Fund and the World Bank, to bring you the definitive ranking. We'll break down not just the numbers, but the stories behind them, the policies, the innovations, and the demographic shifts driving this new world order. A quick heads up, these are projections, and in today's volatile world, they are subject to revisions. But they offer the clearest glimpse we have into our economic future. Let's start the countdown of the Global Economy 2026 GDP Rankings. Kicking off our list at number 10 is the giant of South America, Brazil, with a projected GDP of $2.1 trillion. For years, Brazil has been a story of immense potential hampered by political instability and economic volatility. However, by 2026, its powerhouse status is set to solidify. The primary driver remains its colossal commodities sector. Brazil is a global leader in agricultural exports like soybeans, coffee, and sugar, feeding millions around the world. It's also rich in mineral resources, including iron ore, which is fundamental for global construction and manufacturing. But here's the surprise insight. Brazil is no longer just a resource economy. A burgeoning tech scene, particularly in fintech and e-commerce, is diversifying its economic base, creating new high-skilled jobs. For students, this means a dual track of opportunities. If you're in environmental science or agribusiness, Brazil's push for sustainable farming is a massive field. But if you're a coder or entrepreneur, the startup ecosystem in cities like São Paulo is exploding. The challenge? Navigating the country's infamous bureaucracy and political headwinds, which can make the job market and visa processes unpredictable. Brazil's journey is a key indicator for other emerging markets trying to balance natural resource wealth with a high-tech future. At number 9, we have Canada, with a projected GDP of $2.2 trillion. Often seen as the quiet, stable neighbor to the US, Canada's economy is a model of resilience. Its strength is built on a foundation of abundant natural resources, oil, natural gas, and timber, but with a crucial modern twist, a focus on sustainable extraction and clean energy. Canada is a world leader in hydroelectric power and is making significant investments in green hydrogen and battery minerals like cobalt and lithium, positioning itself as a key player in the global energy transition. But the real story for Canada's future is its people. With one of the most ambitious and successful immigration policies in the world, Canada is actively combating the demographic decline plaguing other advanced economies. For students, this is huge. Canada's universities are world-class, and its post-graduation work permit program is one of the most attractive globally, creating a clear pathway from education to employment and permanent residency. The contrarian insight. While many associate Canada with oil, its service sector, particularly in finance, AI research, and digital media in hubs like Toronto, Montreal, and Vancouver, actually accounts for over 70% of its GDP. This economic diversity is its greatest strength, providing stability and a wide range of job opportunities in the face of global uncertainty. Coming in at number 8 is Italy, with a projected GDP of $2.4 trillion. Italy often makes headlines for political drama and high public debt, leading many to underestimate its economic muscle. But to do so would be a mistake. Italy is the second largest manufacturing power in Europe after Germany, a fact that often gets lost in the narrative. Its economy is defined by the Made in Italy brand, a global seal of quality in luxury goods, fashion, high-end furniture, and automotive design. Companies like Ferrari, Prada, and Luxottica are not just cultural icons. They are economic titans. The key driver for Italy is its network of small and medium-sized, often family-owned, manufacturing businesses in the north. These agile companies are champions of niche exports, dominating global markets in everything from industrial machinery to gourmet foods. For students, particularly in design, engineering, and business, Italy offers unique opportunities to work in industries where craftsmanship and innovation intersect. The surprise? Despite its reputation for stagnation, Italy has seen a post-pandemic surge in industrial production and exports, partly funded by the EU's Recovery Fund. This capital is being used to digitize its manufacturing base and upgrade infrastructure. The challenge remains its aging population and regional divide between the industrial north and the less developed south, which continues to be a drag on its overall economic growth. At number 7, we find France, projected to have a GDP of $3.2 trillion. France's economy is a fascinating blend of state-directed industrial policy and free market dynamism. Its biggest economic driver is one of its most famous cultural assets, tourism. As the world's most visited country, the revenue from tourism permeates every corner of its economy, from hotels and restaurants to luxury retail. The LVMH Group, which owns brands like Louis Vuitton and Dior, is Europe's most valuable company, a testament to the global power of French luxury. Beyond the glitz and glamour, France is a leader in high-tech industries like aerospace, think Airbus, and nuclear energy. Its long-term investment in nuclear power has given it a degree of energy independence that is the envy of its neighbors, providing a stable and lower-cost energy base for its industries. For students, France's world-renowned universities in business, engineering, and the arts are a major draw. The student life angle is compelling. A high quality of life, subsidized education, and growing tech hubs like Station F in Paris. The contrarian insight is that while often perceived as having a rigid labor market, recent reforms have aimed to make hiring more flexible, boosting startup growth and attracting foreign investment. France's economic future hinges on its ability to balance its strong social safety net with the need for continued pro-business reforms to remain one of the top economies. Breaking into the top 6 is the United Kingdom, with a projected GDP of $3.8 trillion. In the years following Brexit, many predicted a steep decline for the UK economy. However, the 2026 projection shows a story of resilience and adaptation. The UK's undisputed heavyweight champion is its services sector, which accounts for roughly 80% of its economy. The City of London remains one of the world's 2 premier financial centers, a global hub for banking, insurance, and asset management. This financial prowess is complemented by world-leading creative industries, legal services, and a booming tech sector. For students, the UK's elite universities are a gateway to these high-paying industries. A degree from a top UK institution is a globally recognized brand, opening doors in finance, law, and tech, not just in London, but worldwide. The surprise insight is the UK's quiet emergence as a science and technology superpower. With leading research in life sciences, AI, and fintech, fueled by its top-tier universities, the UK is positioning itself as a post-Brexit science superpower. The biggest headwind is productivity, which has lagged behind competitors for years. Unlocking higher productivity and resolving its future trading relationship with the EU are the key challenges the UK must overcome to secure its position in the global economic growth race. At number 5, we have Japan, with a projected GDP of $4.2 trillion. For decades, Japan was the undisputed number 2 economy, a symbol of post-war industrial miracle. While it has since been overtaken, it remains a technological and manufacturing titan. Japan's economy is built on a culture of monozukuri, a deep-seated pride in craftsmanship and manufacturing excellence. This is evident in its world-leading automotive industry, Toyota, Honda, and its dominance in high-tech components, robotics, and precision engineering. If you own a smartphone or a modern car, it's almost certain to contain critical components made in Japan. The country's biggest challenge is its demographics. It has the oldest population in the world, leading to a shrinking workforce. However, Japan is turning this challenge into a driver of innovation. It is the world leader in robotics and automation, using technology to solve labor shortages in everything from manufacturing to elder care. For students in robotics, mechatronics, and advanced engineering, Japan is the place to be. The contrarian insight is that despite its reputation for being closed, Japan is slowly opening up to foreign talent and tourism to counteract its demographic decline. Its stability, safety, and incredible technological infrastructure make it a unique place to live and work. Japan's future will be a fascinating case study in how an advanced society can innovate its way through a demographic crisis. Surging into the number 4 spot is India, with a projected GDP of $4.3 trillion, narrowly overtaking Japan. This is one of the most significant shifts in the global economy for 2026. India is no longer just an emerging market, it is a global economic force. The single biggest driver is its demographic dividend. With a median age of just 28, India has the world's largest and youngest workforce, a stark contrast to the aging populations in Europe and East Asia. This youthful energy is fueling a boom in consumption and innovation. The second driver is its digital revolution. The India Stack, a unified system of digital identity, payments, and data management, has brought hundreds of millions of people into the formal economy, unleashing a wave of fintech and e-commerce growth. For students, the opportunities are immense but highly competitive. India's IT services sector is legendary, but the new growth is in product-based tech startups, renewable energy, and advanced manufacturing, as global companies adopt a China Plus One strategy. The surprise insight? While its IT sector gets the glory, a massive government-led push into physical infrastructure, new highways, airports, and high-speed rail is underway, aiming to solve the logistical bottlenecks that have historically held India back. The challenge is immense, creating enough quality jobs for the millions entering the workforce each year. If India can succeed, its economic growth story is just beginning. Securing the bronze medal at number 3 is Germany, the undisputed economic engine of Europe, with a projected GDP of $4.7 trillion. Germany's economic model is the gold standard for export-oriented manufacturing. Its strength lies in the Mittelstand, a network of small and medium-sized, often family-owned companies that are world leaders in highly specialized industrial products. They don't make the consumer gadgets you see every day. They make the complex machinery that makes those gadgets. This industrial backbone is complemented by its automotive giants like Volkswagen, BMW, and Mercedes-Benz. However, the German model is facing its biggest test in decades. Its reliance on cheap Russian energy has been shattered, forcing a rapid and expensive transition to renewables. Furthermore, its export-heavy model is vulnerable to a slowdown in the global economy, particularly in China, a key market. For students, especially in engineering and manufacturing, Germany's system of vocational training and its world-class technical universities offer an incredible career path. The contrarian insight is that while known for cars, Germany's biggest challenge and opportunity is the green transition. Its race to become a leader in hydrogen technology, battery production, and energy efficiency will determine whether it can reinvent its industrial model for the 21st century and maintain its spot as one of the top economies. In a league of its own, at number 2 is China, with a colossal projected GDP of $19.2 trillion. The story of China's economic rise is the most significant geopolitical event of the last 40 years. It is the world's factory, dominating global supply chains in everything from electronics to textiles. This manufacturing prowess is the foundation of its economic might. But China is no longer content with just being the world's workshop. A key government policy, Made in China 2025, is driving a massive push to become a leader in high-tech industries like artificial intelligence, semiconductors, aerospace, and electric vehicles. Companies like Huawei, Tencent, and BYD are now global competitors. For students, the landscape is complex. While opportunities exist, particularly for those who speak Mandarin and understand the culture, the geopolitical tensions and a slowing domestic economy create significant uncertainty. The surprise insight is the internal challenge China faces. After years of debt-fueled growth in the property sector, it is now grappling with a major real estate crisis and a crisis of confidence among consumers. Furthermore, its population has begun to shrink, years earlier than expected. China's future economic trajectory depends on a difficult transition from an investment-led model to one driven by domestic consumption and high-tech innovation, all while navigating intense strategic competition with the West. And holding strong at number 1, with a projected 2026 GDP of a staggering $30.5 trillion, is the United States of America. Despite decades of predictions of its decline, the U.S. economy continues to defy gravity, its lead over China actually widening in these projections. What is the source of this enduring power? First, unparalleled innovation. From Silicon Valley's tech giants like Apple, Google, and Amazon to its world-leading biotech and aerospace industries, the U.S. is a relentless innovation machine, driven by its top-tier research universities and a culture of venture capital that rewards risk-taking. Second, energy independence. The shale revolution has turned the U.S. into a net energy exporter, insulating it from the energy shocks that have rocked Europe and Asia. Third, and perhaps most importantly, is the power of the U.S. dollar. As the world's primary reserve currency, it gives the U.S. immense economic and geopolitical leverage. For students, the American dream, while more challenging, is still alive. The U.S. offers the deepest and most dynamic job market in the world, with unparalleled opportunities for those in tech, finance, and entrepreneurship. The contrarian insight. While manufacturing has declined, a new wave of reshoring is underway, with massive investments in semiconductor fabs and battery plants, driven by legislation like the CHIPS Act. The U.S. faces its own serious challenges: political polarization, rising inequality, and national debt, but its fundamental economic dynamism, its ability to attract global talent, and its culture of innovation keep it firmly in the #1 spot. So there you have it, the projected top 10 economies of 2026. A world where emerging markets like India are surging, established powers like Germany and Japan are innovating to stay relevant, and the U.S. continues to lead the pack. The global economic race is a marathon, not a sprint, and these rankings are constantly in flux. This brings us to the big question for the future. Which of these emerging economies do you think will surprise us the most by 2030? Will India's demographic dividend pay off even faster? Or will a country outside this top 10, like Indonesia or Nigeria, make a dramatic entrance? Let us know your predictions in the comments below. For more edutainment on the global trends shaping your future, make sure to subscribe to Smartobrains and hit that notification bell. Thanks for watching.